Hi, my name is Moshe Kindler, and I'm the publisher of The Jewish Link,
Hi, this is Elizabeth Kratz. I'm editor of The Jewish Link.
and you're on the Jewish Link Pitch Meeting podcast.
Moshe, why don't you tell us who our guest is today on the Jewish Link Pitch Meeting podcast?
Our guest today is Zachary Greenberg, otherwise known as Zach Greenberg, but I actually know him as, I've known him for a long time, actually. Zach, I think I've even watched you sort of grow up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But Zach is a homegrown product of the North Jersey community, the Teaneck Bergenfield community. But I actually think you become better known for me specifically and for our readers as Mr. Fun. So,
Appreciate that.
Elizabeth, why don't you, as the editor, why don't you say all the things he does for our paper and all the things he continues to do?
Definitely. So basically, Zach entered my consciousness when he basically pitched a column idea.
Yep.
And since that, and it was called Fun in New Jersey, or maybe, I don't know if that was your idea of the title or it was
I was thinking maybe Fun's Activities. That's my Instagram name, but but I didn't want it to be about me. I wanted it to be more broad.
Okay, so Fun's Activities.
That's what I was thinking. I like Fun in New Jersey better.
I have a sense that Moshe rejected that out of hand because I never even heard it, or at least I
Possibly,
forgot.
yeah.
Anyway, but so that was the first time we came into consciousness with you. But then since then, you've been very involved with the creation of our Chol HaMoed guides, which I think the next one coming up is very exciting. You're probably almost done with it, or we're launching it imminently. But it's the Sukkot Chol HaMoed guide, and that's just really for people often with kids, but sometimes without. Sometimes young singles or young couples can look at it for activities that are seasonal and appropriate for that particular moment, and special deals. And we also have cool advertisers who give 2-for-1s or different kinds of deals. And I know that you've had lots of opportunities in the last couple of years to do fun stuff, and you really are coming now from a position of authority as a director of fun or whatever. And I actually remembered there was a phrase that I heard recently that I think might apply to you. I don't know if it's insulting or not insulting though, so
We try not to insult people.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I could take it.
basically bringing big kid energy. BKE. Have you heard that?
I appreciate as someone who's 5'4". So
Okay.
I'll
So
take the
being
big, I'll take the big kid part.
Okay. But being basically bringing the aspect of fun to even adult lives. We tend to have, humdrum situations. We all, go to work, we have our family, we have Shabbat, whatever, but going and doing paintball or laser tag or a crazy roller coaster. And I know your wife also has become involved over the years.
Yeah.
And so we definitely want to hear more about what Ahuva has brought to the Jewish Link as well.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel definitely when I pitched the idea at first, I remember thinking, am I going to run out of ideas fast? In my head, I'm like, okay, I've probably done 20 or 30 fun activities in the area, so I guess I got 20 weeks of issues to do. But since then, I've only seen, especially doing the Chol HaMoed guide, where I think there's probably close to 300 or so, and now I'm realizing it's probably never going to end. There's just so much to do in the area, and I think doing this column's really opened my eyes and how much fun stuff there is to do, and I hope I can bring that to the readers also.
That's great.
I just want to say that you bring it to the readers. I always felt, just saying, it comes through both in the pictures. You are always, you guys look like you're having a great time. Okay,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It comes through in the writing, you're really enthusiastic about. I think I even had to remind you a few times to make sure that people put in the details, like ticket prices or things like that.
Yeah.
But you're just having a great time, and I want you to know that it comes through. So
Appreciate
the truth is actually what's been kind of the most what's been the most exciting, best over the last year or so of the 20 or so, 30, I think probably more than that, 20 articles over the last year or two.
What's been my favorite place?
Yeah.
I really like the Harry Potter Forbidden Forest experience.
Oh,
I just wasn't expecting it to be so awesome. They literally turned the whole 2-mile park into a Harry Potter world where the whole forest, there's robots, people dressed up in costumes. It was super interactive. It was 2 miles long. It was just a lot. And I just didn't I always feel when your expectations are, you just have no expectations and then you're blown away. That's always the best. If you have too high expectations, it's very hard to meet that. So it's always just good going in expecting whatever will happen and then being blown away.
Okay. For the
Very
record,
cool.
you're not being paid by Harry the Harry Potter. You're not. This is not a paid sponsorship. Okay.
Not that I know of.
Okay, good.
Did they have a big spider? And
Yeah,
so,
they-
like
they-
they had like
they
all
actually-
that stuff. Like,
Yeah, I mean, they had a scene where you like stand underneath a couple of like spiders hanging up, and all of a sudden the spiders come down like right above your head, and then a giant spider pops out of you from the side. And it was and like there's fog and smoke and like they're blasting music. It was crazy.
So it's real. Like it's
I mean, I don't think it's
they're
not
bringing
open
it-
right now, but when they like when it was open for like a limited time, like
I see.
a lot of the articles I write are kind of limited. I'll even include like, oh, this is only open for a few months. Like right now, the Harry Potter exhibit I just covered. This not related to the Forbidden Forest, just in New York City. There's a Harry Potter exhibit that's only open through I think January, and I know the Titanic exhibit I think is closing this month. Friends is probably open for a couple more months, so a lot of stuff's limited time. But if it's like an amusement park or some kind of established place, then it'll be open for indefinitely.
Okay, but that's great that you were able to bring those opportunities sort of on a short-term basis to the readers.
Yeah.
And then they have them to look forward to if they want to look them up again, when it comes back or whatever. These traveling shows sometimes repeat, don't they, in New York? Like maybe like I seem to remember like some of the immersive experiences, like the Van Gogh art exhibit, which I don't think you wrote about yet.
Yeah.
But it like comes through like once every,
that
I
makes
don't know.
sense.
2 year, 3 year period.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So, yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So you like the Harry Potter experience, and I think there were some other cool things that you did that were like one-offs also. Like I know, can we talk about, even though we can talk about why it was controversial at our paper, the Mr. Beast event at American Dream,
Elizabeth.
can't we? I think
Okay.
it's interesting.
Elizabeth, we're going from Harry Potter to Mr. Beast.
Okay.
Like where is the Jewish link going?
So tell
Okay,
us
where
first
we-
of all who Mr. Beast is for the readers of ours who might not be on the internet
that guy
following
needs
him all the time.
no PR from
Okay,
us.
so like I don't think he didn't really enter my consciousness until a couple of years ago. So
Yeah.
I don't know how long he's been doing. But tell me why you wanted to go to a non-kosher. Let's just say it right out there. Why you wanted to go to a non-kosher restaurant opening for this opportunity to be like in the same orbit as Mr. Beast.
For the record, I'm not supporting this conversation, but keep going.
I think
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Beast is known for doing a lot of eccentric challenges with huge loads of money for prizes. So I just kind of assumed, like he's kind of like, I guess, the Willy Wonka of our generation where, you meet him, it's kind of like a golden... He's even done a Willy Wonka bit where, like, he dressed up as Willy Wonka and, like, recreated the chocolate factory. Like,
And he like walks around with like
he
with like
recreated-
$100
like,
bills.
Squid Game was one of the best shows I've seen, especially, like, being, like, an international, film and, like, show. And people have never seen, like, appreciated that other countries can come out with such great cinema. And Mr. Beast just took that show and recreated it and made like a $450,000 prize for the winner, like corresponding to the show's number of contestants. And he just like everything he wants to do, he could just make it happen, and like that really speaks to me. I don't have the same influence as Mr. Beast, but I definitely like appreciate that he does that, and like it's something that I try to do within my abilities.
I always wonder about like the chesed angle of Mr. Beast and like in terms of the Jewish link, why his style interests you, like as sort of a Jewish person. Like I know he has charitable intents and foundations and things that he works with, but like what is it about him that just catches the consciousness of probably not just
I
you,
feel
but
like
maybe
I guess
generation.
I feel like you're kind of hitting on it. Like he's just a wholesome guy. Like he just, all his content isn't like, obviously it's for clicks, but like he really just started out as this kid. He's only 20. I think he's 25. He's like a month older than me, and like he just started out. He just whatever money he had, he just gave it away for videos and like just gave it away to people because like it speaks to people to like see, hey, like it's about community and being there for one another. And it was just like, and he just made fun videos. So like I really wanted to meet him, so I went with my brother Gabe. I saw like he posted on his Twitter like, hey, I'll be at the American Dream Mall. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go. So I made sure to go with Gabe 4 hours before the mall opened, and even then there was already a few thousand people there.
Wow.
And I think there were 2,000 people then. So and I was down to wait it out, but I don't know. My brother, whatever, he's a great guy, but if he's set on something, he's set. And my dad like got in his head that it was a really bad idea and we're never gonna meet him. So he's like, I'm not waiting around 4 hours. There's 2,000 people in front of us. Let's just leave. But we ended up getting wristbands that I found out later from a few friends who went like 4 hours later, and they were like, there's now 20,000 people here. Anyone who had a wristband could just go right up to meet him. Like, you could have met him, and because we left and like took off our bands, like we missed out on meeting him. And it was just very, it's like, you don't want, like, I guess like that's a good lesson for me. Like, you don't want to, like, if you have an idea and like it's working and like the plan hasn't changed, like you got to commit just all the way through it.
So you're blaming your brother, basically, is what you're saying. So
I guess I could blame my dad a little bit too for getting it in it. Like, Gabe is all in, because Gabe's very like all in or all out. Like, I'm not like that. Like, I could be swayed. Gabe is just like, he's in and until he's out, and then he's done. So my dad got in his head to be done, and he was done.
Right. So I get that there's like a zeitgeist element to Mr. Beast and who Mr. Beast is, but can you talk about like the kinds of activities that Mr. Beast might do that like might be appropriate for a Jewish creator, or like the ideas that he brings could there be a Jewish Mr. Beast?
I pitched this to Moshe about me doing this kind of, I mean, not Mr. Beast obviously, but I thought it would have been fun this summer to, I do fun activities, like maybe this could be a segment next summer, or even with schools, who knows? Like, I go to like different camps and basically like write an article like I do for fun activities, but do it for camps. And like maybe when I go to camp, like we also add an element, like I'm a runner, so like maybe like I just made it up, like we run across the whole camp, and any kid who beats me gets like an $100 gift card somewhere. Like, I have no, like, I'm not saying like I'm not like an amazing runner, but like I'm like a decent runner, so like I'm sure a few people could beat me, but like I'm sure most wouldn't. Not knocking anyone, just like it would have been like, it could be like a fun way to like get everyone involved. Like, I don't know.
Great.
By the way, that was not the idea you pitched me. I like that idea.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So we talked about something a little bit different. I thought.
I didn't want to. Yeah. I guess that was like in my head like a far off idea, but like, I guess like you could kind of do this with anything. I feel like Hask and Yachad, and I feel like they're always doing promos like, oh, we'll do this giveaway, but I feel like that's kind of, I mean, obviously everyone loves giveaways, but it's kind of lame. Like, it's cooler when you make the giveaway like kind of like a challenge, like make them earn it, like picking the contestants. You can like do a raffle to get who gets selected, make that the random aspect. But it'd be cooler if like more organizations made it more fun video style, and or even gave people a chance to train for it to make it a fair shot, instead of just an obscure raffle that it's like, oh, remember the, like, even, I mean, not in a bad way, just the Jewish Link did it with the 10-year anniversary raffles. Like, imagine if instead of just raffles, it was like contest, and it was on video. It would have been hysterical to watch, and a lot more fair.
Creating
for
a product. Therefore, so this is a great idea, because the Jewish Link pitch meeting podcast is actually also a pitch meeting. It's great that you're actually coming to our meeting with some ideas, with real pitches. So that's really appreciated.
Yeah.
But also, I think that there really is elements of usability in the kinds of things that you're looking at, and the way you look at them. Like, how can I make this experience fun? How can like we do camp gift cards, or anniversary gift cards more interesting, and also create like a product for online, which is really interesting, and I think a good idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I love your idea, by the way, and we should do something. I like that.
Yeah,
cool.
On it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's what I'm saying. Don't forget the idea. Let's keep developing.
This is on recording, so we're.
I know it's recorded, but let's make sure that let's see something happening with this. I definitely love the idea.
Basically,
yes. Yeah, I'm saying it could even be schools like run around this. I mean, I just made up the race part. Like, it could be something.
Active.
Like, I just made that up. It doesn't have to be a race,
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Kratz, editor of the Jewish Link newspaper and co-host of the Jewish Link Pitch Meeting podcast. We are looking for sponsors of the Jewish Link Pitch Meeting, a wonderful podcast that you find on all of your digital platforms. If you are interested, please email us at editor@jewishlink.news.
By the way, you're not just a good runner. You're also you're a running coach as well.
Yes,
to be modest.
And a stair competitor.
I don't know. Maccabi USA just reached out to me, I think, from the Jewish Link. They're like, we're looking for Orthodox track coaches. Like, I don't actually know if I'm qualified for that, but like, I'm like interested to hear what they have to pitch. But that's like another Jewish Link connection.
That's great. Actually, can you tell? I think you should tell our readers that you got about your current job and how that happened.
Yeah. So, I was working at a consulting firm, and then I think I started working there in December 2021, and then around February 2022 I started writing for the Jewish Link. I think that's when I pitched the idea to Moshe, and I had my first column on AMC Dreamscape, but since then that place is closed. But it was a great time. I guess I could kind of go into a backstory, like how.
Sure.
Yeah.
Please.
So
Podcasts are great for backstories.
So I'd always been I always enjoyed writing. In high school I wrote for Kol Torah at TABC, and then over my time in Yeshiva Nativ, every Shabbos I would write a Devar Torah for my family. But like I made it I always I don't just write like classic Devar Torahs. Like I made it I always like writing like obscure, interesting one with the Akedas Yitzchak. Like if you look at the text, like it kind of looks like Yitzchak, Avram actually went through it and killed Yitzchak, and there's like a lot of like sources to it. Like Yitzchak's the second Avos, and like the Shemona Esrei, what are the three like first parts of Shemona Esrei? The second one's like Mechaya Mesim, and that's relating to Yitzchak. There's like a lot of like interesting stuff, and like his name's not mentioned from the time of the Akedah until Avraham's blessed Bakol, and that's been a son. Like maybe that's where Hashem brought Yitzchak back to life and gave whatever. So it's like interesting stuff. And then once I got to YU, I started writing for the YU newspaper, and then I kind of just started working after YU, and I had gone a few months without writing, and I was just kind of missing it. And I was like, I was reading this Disney magazine at home, and I was like, I really wanted to write for this Disney magazine. So I kept they had a Google form application, and it was like one email per time you can apply. So I figured out a hack around it. Like if I just make a bunch of emails, I could keep applying multiple times because they weren't responding to me. I thought it showed like initiative. They thought it was like, why are you doing this? Like, this is creepy. I was like, oh, I did not mean for it to be creepy. You weren't responding to me, whatever. That got me like back thinking like, and then they also said you don't have enough travel experience. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get travel experience. So then this was all like happened at the same time. So then when I did the AMC Dreamscape with Jared, he's one of my best friends. Jared and I were co-counselors at HASC.
And my son's co-counselor as well. Sorry,
Very
that's
cool.
how I first met. I forgot to mention that.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
So like after Jared and I did AMC Dreamscape, I was like, oh, Zev. I mean, Jared and I love Zev. Like
my son. Yeah.
Yeah. Zev was like he was at both our weddings. Jared even made him a groomsman. Zev was one of the best guys I know. He's one of the most wholesome dudes, and he's hysterical. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, I'll reach out to Moshe, and I just wrote up an article on AMC Dreamscape, like my point of view on it. I sent it to Moshe. I'm like, hey, if this looks pretty good, I could try doing a column on this. And since then, like I got to where now I'm writing almost every week, and by coincidence, a partner at my firm, Rami Glatt, he read my article. He saw that I worked at a consulting firm in my bio, and he's like, oh, I used to work at that consulting firm. Now I started I switched a while ago to this new company. We're having like a January class. Do you want to apply for that? And I was like, okay, like it can't hurt to apply. And, now it ended up being a great opportunity, and that's where I've been working. And so far, absolutely loving it. And yeah.
So Jewish Link writer meets Jewish Link reader leads to new job.
Yes, that's the lesson.
I just want to tell you something, Elizabeth. Don't stop it, but that has happened more often than you think, and that's actually one of the things that's very special about the Jewish Link. We really these kind of connections are happening without our knowledge until we get people on podcasts.
Yeah, no,
so that's great.
A local Rebbitzin of mine said, "Did you know that my daughter saw this listing for a job in the back of the Jewish Link Classified and said, look, mommy, they have this is what you do." And she applied for the job, and she has that job now.
Wow.
And it's like just like a kid. See, so we like stories like that, obviously, and we want to know also how do you feel that your articles are perceived in the community? I know you said you don't get negative feedback, which is great because people generally like fun and it's not controversial.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Mr. Beast one and Nathan's hot dog eating contest got some negative feedback, but other than that, I think it's been mostly smooth.
Yes.
But if people sort of drink the Kool-Aid on what you're trying to do, which is that you're exploring the world from the aspect of fun and going to places, maybe if it's not the kosher hot dog eating contest in Coney Island, but it's something to see nonetheless.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I hope I'm not. I feel like this was probably my biggest concern. Like, I'm not. I hate coming off as like haughty or anything. And I know like a lot of influencers on. They like. My wife and I were just discussing this. How like some influencers, maybe you're like an expert in, cooking or like I don't know, whatever it is, or something, and then you start like pushing for something totally not related to your field, and it's like you're clearly just doing this because like they're paying you or you're getting free stuff out of this. And I never wanted to come across as like I'm doing this, obviously like I'm doing it for me because it's fun, but like I'm not doing this like just for me. Like I really feel like I hope I'm trying to show to the community there's a lot to do out there. You don't need, like, I feel like I talk with so many of my friends, and they're like, yeah, I go on vacation, we do a lot of fun stuff all week, and then I don't do any dates the rest of the year. And I think that's really sad. Like, why would you just build your life around having a week or two of fun around only vacation time when you could be doing it all year? Like, you don't need to go as many times as me, but like, even if once a month you have like a fun date night, there's so many good places to go to, and you don't need to just travel to another country to do something fun. People come to New York to do fun stuff. Like, why can't you do that too?
I really like that. It really speaks to me, and it reminds me of like a book I read in high school randomly in French class. It's probably, hopefully you'll have heard of it, The Little Prince. Oh, yeah. La Petite Prince. No? Any interest? Did you ever take French? Because they like force it on you in high school.
I took
But
Hebrew.
basically, good point. But basically, the idea is a kid with his friend who may or may not be like a dog or a flower. I don't know. It's like you have to go with it. But like it's not so much like what you see when you're like looking at each other, but what you see when you're standing next to each other looking out at the horizon. Like, and you kind of going and out and like doing experiences together is sort of like what builds.
The journey's better than the destination.
Yeah, and like doing that with a particular friend or person who's like you're sharing an experience that it can't repeat.
Yeah, I love writing my articles. Like, obviously I love doing it with the Hoova, but it's also fun like when I just go with my friends too. Like, I don't just use it for dates. Like I'll be like to my friends, hey, do you want to go to this place? And it's great.
Yeah. So it's nice also. Maybe do you get comped a little bit more often now than you used to, or like sometimes more often than never, or more often than not?
Get
comped. Yeah, like do you get free tickets when they want to? They want you to write about them.
Yes, some lately, like I guess I've been getting a bigger name. Like some places reach out to me, but I don't think I'm there yet fully. But a lot of times, I try to go on whatever. I mean, I have like a list of places I want to go to, and then I go on their website, and then I click like media, and then like I fill out like a form or email or whatever, and I have like a generic template that I know I want to pretty much send, and then I pretty much just like switch it up a little bit to whatever that place's theme is. I'll switch it to similar kind of places, be like, oh, I covered this in this place that's like you, I'd be happy to do the same thing for you. And then I try to get myself some like press passes so I don't have to in theory, but
but it's good. It creates an opportunity also for you to do this a little more often than someone maybe on your budget would ordinarily be able to do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of places I do have to pay out of pocket, but I'd say now it's becoming more like 50-50. Like half the places I don't pay for, but I feel like it's in everyone's best interest. Like, why would the place not want the free, like, advertising they do it in any newspaper or any marketing, you have to pay for it to get the marketing. So if you're getting it for free and all it costs them is having one or two extra people or whatever, even if I ask for like 4 tickets, if I want to bring like another couple, like, well, what do they really care?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I often say to my, you may or may not realize it, but the articles you write are the best form of advertising. I mean, ads work, but our community, I think, really reads on Shabbos.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a bunch of readers.
Right.
The Jewish community, certainly on the weekend on Shabbos, we're a reading community. So, meaning, we can't write original articles every week, but I think your pieces, guaranteed have bring results for any place you're covering. So.
Yeah, I mean,
also for the Sukkot guide, I know you do a lot of advanced work for it, and also like you anchor like 2 or 3 articles in there. Like I remember last year, I think, was it the Sukkot guide when you wrote like multiple articles about Hershey?
Yeah.
Was it right? So can you tell about how you're like developing those kinds of ideas, sort of more long range planning?
Maybe you also give us a preview of this year's Sukkot guide. So so just let's hear and give us some advice as well. So for upcoming Chol HaMoed.
Yeah, I mean this Sukkot is a little weird because Hershey Park's actually not open. I don't. There's like some scheduling conflicts going on with them. So a lot of the guide I'm gonna have to be like, hey, like, you don't have Hershey, but there's still a lot of other stuff to do. I kind of feel like I'm trying to think of, okay, the first part was like, how do I come up with places? So I guess a lot of it now is I'll even like look back at the guide that I make and be like, which places have I not gone to? I said like it'd be cool to add if we added like a checklist at the back of the guide, so not just for me but like everyone else to like check off places they've been to, and then they could be like, oh, I want to do a fun activity in this kind of category, and they could be like, oh, I haven't gone to this place, and I see that from the Chol HaMoed guide, and then they can like keep it on their fridge and like just, you know, ongoing check marks and trying to hit up every place in the guide.
That's a big endeavor.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
it could take years. Who knows? But
Lifetime.
a lifetime.
Yeah.
But so I sometimes look back to that. Honestly, I'm really appreciative of algorithms. You know, social, like whenever I'm on social media now, they always are pitching me fun places to check out because they know that's what I'm looking for.
Right.
So a lot of places I'm like, oh, that's a cool thing, and then I just go to that. Also, I kind of feel like if you're very passionate about certain celebrities or certain types of places you want to go to, and you start following them on Twitter and whatnot, like sooner or later something will come up that's like by your area, and you could by happenstance be like, this is exactly what I've been looking for, and like it'll come up. Like you can't just follow like one person, but if you have like a lot, like if you're only following stuff that you eventually like, if they did something you'd want to be there, it'll come up eventually. Like the Mr. Beast thing, like I would never have guessed that Mr. Beast was going to be coming 10 minutes away from where we are, but when it does come up, like you gotta go. Like that's like a once in a like lifetime event.
Yeah. In fact, one of my daughters is really, really interested in ocean life and boating.
Yeah.
And things like that. And because of something she follows, like I think on my Instagram, I saw an ad for a Jersey Shore whale watching group,
Yeah.
and it was really fun. We did it this summer, and so it basically worked. It transferred into a sale from their end, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
By the way, do you have something against boats? Because you don't do a lot of boating or ocean stuff.
I did the cruise liner recently.
Oh, really?
Around
the one around Manhattan?
Yeah, does that not count for your boat? Or?
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Like I really wanted at some point someone to do
We could do it together.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'll bring my kids. My kids really want to go fishing off City Island. Like they want to do the Learn to Fish Day. Have you ever, like I did that once as
I once, okay, fine. I guess really how I got started with the fun side of myself is my family's always been huge Disney fanatics. Like we go to, I think I probably written this. I've been to Disney World 28 times. Disney.
What?
You did write it. Wow.
Disneyland 3 times. You know, it's funny because Jared Benjamin also, like, we're both Disney, like whatever I just said, he's like my best friend. We're both Disney Vacation Club member families. So like by coincidence, and like we didn't know each other until high school, and then like we were on the way to baseball tryouts walking together, and like my other best friend growing up, Jeremy Rosenblatt, was like, oh, you got to meet Jared Benjamin, he's also like loves Disney. So like we all went to baseball tryouts together, and like we were just talking and we're like, oh my god, we like everything the same, and then now like we've been like best friends since. And
Aww, that's so
and we've
nice.
gone to Disney together multiple times. Like I helped set up his proposal at Disney. I proposed over COVID, so Disney wasn't an option then, but it's all good.
Well, you got to do what you got to do. But
Yeah.
that's great. No, my kids are interested in like different things. So like maybe do you have people emailing you with their ideas?
Yeah, some people email me with ideas. Honestly, I don't get as many as I guess I would like. Like I would love if people gave me more ideas. I guess I'm taking that as a compliment that like I've kind of covered everything that they could think of in the guide, which I guess is fair. I feel like Rise NY has probably been the most popular one that I've gotten a few emails about that I gotta do, and I've actually been in contact with them. Like they want me to come also. It's just a matter of me like figuring out a good time to go. But yeah, so I guess that's just kind of how I don't know if I answered that well enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're open to suggestions from people, and like they should email you. Like particularly, I'll get Hannah to like be like, you know, I want to learn how to fish. I want to go to City Island. I want to figure out how much it's going to cost. I want to know, you know, you know, all that stuff. And it's like, I think there's a lot of untapped stuff, you know, that maybe is fishing niche. Is it niche?
I think
don't know.
fishing's niche. Not
Is
everyone
it?
likes fishing.
Oh, that's what. Yeah,
I don't know.
I was gonna say.
Is it fun?
I've gone fishing in Disney and Epcot.
Oh, okay.
in
Oh, that
Epcot.
was the
what I
connection. Okay.
I've gone fishing the Epcot Lagoon with my family.
Okay.
Yeah, Gabe caught a
Are the
duck.
fish
Gabe
like
caught a duck by accident. It was pretty.
What?
Yeah, like
Was it a real duck or a
a
cartoon
real
duck?
like it's like like it's like the hook
not
got
like
stuck to
Flounder
its
from
beak.
The Little
It
Mermaid
was
or-
crazy,
It's funny.
and we had to like reel it in and like get it out of the beak. It was gross, but whatever.
So basically, you're not catching flounder from The Little Mermaid by accident.
I don't think so.
I did discover actually in the process of working on the Chol HaMoed guide that Zach has not done that much apple picking, which is
I've definitely gone. I've for sure gone. I even went over COVID. I think I did, like, I went berry picking somewhere with my cousins, but I don't remember what the place was called. It's nearby, but it's definitely not. It's not my thing yet. But I like going. Like I'm not against it.
So yeah, there was a time when I went apple picking with my kids like every fall. Definitely.
Yeah, it's fun.
And in this late summer, you can always do peach picking. I think it's like earlier summer that it's like berry picking. There's some in blueberry picking in New Jersey on like down the turnpike.
Yeah, honestly, I
bit.
probably would be doing more, but lately I've been like spending more Sundays like now I've been like focusing a lot on the guides. So, like I think 2 Sundays ago I just spent all day working on the activity guide list. And last Sunday I went to goes back to the preview question. I went to Luna Park with my wife Ahuva, and that's going to be one of the featured place in Coney Island. We had a great time. Like I think it's pretty underrated how cool of a place it is.
Yeah, and it's sort of like an old school amusement park too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they have a roller coaster that's like almost 100 years old.
Right, like
But
the
then
wooden kind that really creak.
Yeah, it's actually really whatever. I'm gonna go into it, but the seats were really comfy. Like they made it like a couch.
Right, like I heard that
And I did a
pretty
slingshot thing. You ever do one of those where like it leans you back and then shoots you forward?
Yeah,
It was crazy. Yeah.
Those times are over for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
like I leave my stomach like where it was before. So.
What happens when you get a little older is you don't love that kind of motion as much.
Right. I guess I haven't gotten
Right.
there yet.
Good.
Yeah,
You
no,
have not gotten
stay young, keep doing it.
Yeah, my
And
wife's
so-
got in there. She's kind of done with roller coasters and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well,
But,
great
but she
stuff.
likes the rides, yeah.
What else? So other than Luna Park, like seasonally, no Hershey. That's really good to know.
Yeah.
And what else
I was
do we need
I was
to
kind of
know?
hoping I was gonna hope to write like a kind of like I think I was talking about this with Moshe, like maybe like outlining like potential schedules. Like I think this is the longest Chol HaMoed you're gonna get, and this is definitely a great time if your kids are off from school or if you want to just celebrate Chag and do activities. Like this is like the best Chag it pretty much gets. It's probably so good that even considering going away somewhere might be a move. Like if you go, I was thinking like Toronto or Philly or somewhere nearby enough where, if you don't want to spend a lot of money and fly, like even just a quick trip out of town could be a great year to do so. But even if you're staying in town, I hope that the guide gives you a lot of ideas, and I want to like outline, kind of like a roadmap of, how your Chag could look if, depending on your kind of circumstance and like how old you are, like how many people in your family, like, maybe I'll do 3 different routes, and, I think it could be an interesting segment to the guide.
Great. That's a great idea. And I didn't really realize that. Like I knew, okay, it's the weekend. Yom Tov is on the weekend, but I didn't realize that gives us a nice solid.
I think
Chol
it's
HaMoed.
yeah, and
like 4 solid days.
Sukkot is longer than Pesach Chol HaMoed, because Pesach is kind of I don't remember. I think Pesach is 4-day Chol HaMoed and Sukkot is 5.
Or because then you have
because the 7th day of Pesach is Yontif, but it's not until the 8th day when it's Yontif for Sukkot. Like there's an extra day in there.
right,
Yeah.
right, because it goes the last day of Sukkot, then Simchat Torah.
Right.
Right,
But there's just like,
Yeah.
like there's an extra Hoshana Rabbah.
right.
Like there's an extra day there that
Shmini Atzeret being its own holiday or
Yeah,
whatever.
That's right.
Right. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
Nice little halacha thrown in there.
yeah.
So great. So yeah.
That's
Well, thanks for being with us. Any parting activities to come other than the Sukkot guide, the Chol HaMoed guide? Any places you're going this winter or?
Oh, I mean, I'm hoping to. I know. So last year I wrote about Grey Wolf Lodge. This year
yeah.
I'm hoping if I can work it out with like my work schedule, maybe go to Kalahari. They're similar kind of indoor water park hotel. So I'm hoping to go there. Upcoming, I know I wanted to go to Dorney Park before it's closed for the year. It's kind of like near Hershey. It's like in between Hershey and here. So like Hershey's like kind of 3 hours away. Dorney Park's like an hour 20 away. I know a lot of camps go there. It's a lot. I've been there a few times, but I haven't gone in a long time, and hoping to go back there, maybe write about that.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess that's
Yeah,
the
my
immediate-
kids went to Dorney Park twice this summer through different camps, but I have not been to Dorney Park since I was like 16 and in camp.
You grew up in California. How would
I know.
you know?
I went to camp in Pennsylvania like everybody else.
Oh,
does.
okay. I forgot that. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
keep
cool.
keep it up,
Yeah.
Zach. I'm just saying. Whenever a new activity opens up in the community, I definitely think about you. And
Yeah.
I'm even hearing.
Yeah, I appreciate when you told me about like Arena STEM last year. That was really fun.
Very good.
They're still. I think they're struggling, but they're still in business. Yeah. Okay. No. Just keep it up, and it's just amazing to see. First of all, you went from being like my son's counselor to a professional, married, and also a really writer. It's really nice to see the growth, and and I'm hopeful our goal should be is that all your trips, all your visits should be free. That should be the plan. Okay?
Amen.
Yeah.
All
All right. Thanks for being with us. Have a
Thank
good
you for having me.
Thanks for being with us on the Jewish Link Pitch Meeting podcast. If you would like to participate or be in touch with us in any way, please email us at editor@jewishlink.news and follow us and find our podcast wherever you find podcasts.